Emma Collins hated taking the last bus home. The route crossed the quiet outskirts of the city, passing through empty streets and industrial districts where almost nobody lived. Most nights, only a few passengers remained aboard by the end of the journey. Sometimes Emma was completely alone. One rainy Thursday evening, she boarded bus 47 after finishing a late shift at work. The weather was terrible. Heavy rain hammered against the windows. Fog covered the streets. The bus felt unusually quiet. Emma sat near the middle and put on her headphones. Everything seemed normal, at least at first. 10 minutes into the trip, she glanced toward the back of the bus. A dark figure sat in the last seat. The passenger appeared to be wearing a black coat. His face remained hidden beneath the shadows. Emma frowned. She hadn't noticed anyone sitting there when she boarded. Perhaps he had entered earlier. She ignored it. The bus continued through the city. At the next stop, several passengers got off. A few more left at the following stop. Soon only Emma and the mysterious stranger remained. The driver didn't seem to notice. The figure never moved, never looked around, never touched a phone, simply sat there, watching. Emma tried to focus on her music, yet she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Then she noticed the reflection. The bus passed beneath a streetlight. For a brief second, the windows reflected the interior. Every passenger appeared clearly, except the man in the last seat. His reflection was missing. Emma's heart skipped a beat. She looked directly at him. The figure remained motionless, but now she felt certain. He was staring at her. A cold sensation crawled down her spine. At the next stop, Emma considered getting off early. Instead, she stayed. She told herself there had to be a logical explanation. Yet deep down, she already knew. Something wasn't right. Then the bus lights flickered, and when they returned, the figure was no longer sitting in the last row. He was one row closer. Emma froze. She stared toward the back of the bus. The figure now occupied a seat several rows ahead. She hadn't seen him move. She hadn't heard footsteps. 1 second, he was in the last row. The next, he was closer. Rain continued striking the windows. The bus rolled through empty streets. The driver remained silent. Emma stood up. Slowly, she walked toward the front, as far from the figure as possible. Her hands trembled. She considered speaking to the driver. Before she could, the lights flickered again. Darkness filled the bus for only a second. When the lights returned, Emma looked back. The figure had moved again. 3 rows closer. Still silent. Still staring. Panic began building inside her chest. She rushed to the driver. "There's someone following me." The driver looked confused. "What are you talking about?" Emma pointed toward the seats. The driver's face changed. "What man?" Emma turned around. The figure remained there, clearly visible. Yet the driver appeared unable to see him. Fear flooded through her body. The bus entered a stretch of road surrounded by forest. No houses, no streetlights, nothing. The next stop arrived. Nobody waited there. The doors opened anyway, for several seconds, then closed. As the bus pulled away, Emma heard something. A sound from behind her. Slow breathing. She turned. The figure sat only 2 rows away now, closer than ever. His face remained hidden, but something about him looked familiar. Terribly familiar. Then the lights flickered once more, this time for longer. When they returned, the seat behind Emma was occupied. The figure had arrived. Emma jumped from her seat. The bus suddenly felt colder. The air became heavy. The breathing continued behind her. Slow, calm, patient. She forced herself to turn around. The figure finally raised his head. Emma gasped. The face staring back at her was her own. Not exactly. Older, paler, exhausted, but unmistakably her. The older version of Emma slowly lifted a hand. Inside it rested a small photograph. Without speaking, she offered it forward. Emma hesitated before taking it. The picture showed bus 47. The same bus, the same night, the same seat. And sitting in the last row was Emma herself. A date appeared beneath the image. Tomorrow. Her blood ran cold. Then the older Emma finally spoke. The voice sounded weak. "You shouldn't have stayed on the bus." Before Emma could ask what that meant, the bus slammed on its brakes. The lights went out completely. Darkness swallowed everything. For several terrifying seconds, silence filled the vehicle. Then the lights returned. The figure was gone. The seat was empty. Only the photograph remained. Moments later, the bus arrived at Emma's stop. She hurried outside. The doors closed behind her. Relieved, she watched the bus drive away. Then she noticed something strange. Through the rear window, she could see every seat clearly. All of them were empty. Except the last one. A dark figure sat there, watching her, waiting. The next morning, Emma searched local archives. She discovered an old urban legend about Bus 47. For decades, passengers had reported seeing a mysterious shadow in the last seat. Those who ignored it arrived home safely. Those who followed it or spoke to it often disappeared without explanation. No evidence, no witnesses, no trace, only stories. Emma never took the last bus again. Yet sometimes, late at night, she sees Bus 47 passing her street, even when no route should exist there. And every time it passes, she catches a glimpse of a shadow sitting in the last seat, staring through the window, looking for its next passenger.